In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was the command that shaped the formless void. The same creative power that spoke galaxies into their orbits dwells upon your tongue. The law of the Spirit does not respond to hesitation or indecision. It responds to the clear, unwavering decree. When you speak with authority, heaven and earth align, the unseen responds, and the formless takes shape. Say aloud now, my word is law, my decree is fulfilled, my command is done. Every word you utter is a seed released into the soil of the universe, and the law is that the soil cannot reject the seed, it must bring forth after its kind. Words of lack bear lack, words of increase bear increase, words of fear create the very thing feared. But words of faith and command awaken the hidden forces that rush to perform it. The word is not a casual sound, it is a vibration that carries authority. When you speak in alignment with the divine principle, you are no longer begging for favor. You are enforcing eternal law. Speak as one who knows. I decree abundance. I decree health. I decree right action. I decree divine order. The word is the rod of authority placed in your hand to govern your world. To speak weakly is to abdicate your throne. To speak with power is to summon angels to perform the decree. The universe is impartial. It is the obedient servant of the word. It does not reason or debate, it manifests. You have been given dominion by the Creator, and that dominion is exercised by the word. The moment you open your mouth and declare with faith, the unseen begins to rearrange itself. Every cell, every circumstance, every door and opportunity is commanded by the vibration of your speech. The law does not fail, the law is perfect. If your harvest has been bitter, it is because your words have sown bitter seeds. Change the word, and you change the harvest. The word is the instrument of transmutation. It transforms shadows into light, lack into supply, confusion into order. Say now with authority, my word is the living law of prosperity. I speak wealth and wealth appears. I speak health and health flows. I speak peace and peace surrounds me. Hold your decree as a ruler holds a scepter. Do not drop it for the language of doubt or complaint. Every word that contradicts your decree is a thief of your harvest. Guard your tongue as you would guard a treasury. The law is that what you continually declare must manifest. The subconscious is the fertile field that accepts whatever seed is planted by repetition of the word, and it does not question, it simply brings forth. The word is the sword of spirit. It cuts down the lie of limitation. It severs you from the old order of fear and lack. The instant you speak, the vibration is released, and it travels through the unseen realms, summoning the exact conditions that match your decree. Do not ask how it will come, do not measure by appearances. The word is the command, the law is the executor. Say aloud, sight I speak as LA. I do not plead, I command with faith, I decree with certainty. Such a declaration stirs the forces of heaven to obey. Know this truth, the law cannot fail, the word cannot return void. When you speak in harmony with divine principle, the decree is sealed in the eternal. It is done though you see it not. The seed germinates beneath the soil, unseen yet unstoppable. Your part is to keep the decree alive upon your lips, to refuse to uproot it with idle talk, to stand as one who knows that the law is faithful. Declare now with a voice that vibrates through every fiber of your being, by the word, I align with divine law. By the word I command my good. By the word I summon the substance of wealth, health, peace, and power. The law hears me and acts without delay. Speak as a prophet to your own destiny. Speak as a ruler who knows the authority given. Speak until the atmosphere trembles and your own mind bows in obedience. The word is law, and when the word is spoken in faith, miracles rush to manifest. Tricking the mind is a faithful servant, yet it is also a cunning trickster, bound to patterns it has learned through years of fear, doubt, and limitation. It bows to habit more readily than to truth, and thus it must be startled awake, commanded, and disciplined to obey the higher law. The subconscious mind, vast and powerful, is like rich soil. It will grow whatever is planted within it, whether seeds of fear or seeds of faith. But it does not know the difference between truth and falsehood. It responds only to what is impressed upon it with conviction. Therefore, you may outwit it. You may bypass its old arguments and protests. You may trick it into obedience to divine law by the authority of the spoken word. Say aloud, mind, I command you to believe. Mind, I command you to obey the truth. Mind, I command you to align with the law of abundance. For too long you have been subject to the mind's rehearsals of past failures, its whispers of delay, its images of lack. It clings to the evidence of the senses and resists the unseen reality of spirit. But the mind can be shocked into surrender. When you speak the decree repeatedly, when you affirm the unseen as if it were already accomplished, the mind becomes weary of resistance and finally submits to the new command. The moment it accepts the higher vibration, the unseen law rushes into action and manifestation begins. Therefore, you must speak as one who already possesses, not as one who hopes. You must declare as one who rules, not as one who pleads. Say this now with power and no longer listen to the old voice of fear. I astonish my mind with declarations of victory. I command my thoughts to bow to divine order. I proclaim that all good is mine by right of divine inheritance. When the mind is startled by such boldness, it falters in its old arguments and yields to the higher decree. This is the holy trick, overriding the senses with the vibration of certainty. The mind expects evidence before it believes. The spirit commands belief before evidence appears. The moment you choose to decree the unseen is present, you outwit the old patterns of thought and open the door for miracles. Understand this: the mind resists what feels unfamiliar, but it cannot withstand sustained repetition of truth. If you will impress upon it morning and night the word of abundance, if you will speak aloud in moments of doubt with unshaken voice, saying, "As I am wealth, I am supply, I am the open channel of God's infinite good," the mind will eventually accept this as its new reality and will cease to war against your decree. What the mind accepts as real, the subconscious begins to reproduce in the outer world. The mind can be tricked by acting as if the desired condition is already fulfilled. Walk as if the door is already open. Speak as if the wealth is already in your hand. Give thanks as if the answer is already delivered. The senses may protest. The old thoughts may rise up, but persist in the performance of faith. This confuses the old habit of lack and compels the mind to surrender to the higher vision. The law is precise. The outer must follow the inner belief, and belief is forged by repetition and by decisive speech. Declare with unwavering voice, "Take possession now of the thoughts of plenty. I take possession now of the vibration of victory. I no longer rehearse defeat. I astonish my mind with the certainty of my triumph." Keep the word alive upon your lips until the mind no longer questions but accepts. This is the divine strategy, tricking the old mind into yielding to the new law, bypassing the senses, commanding the unseen to become seen. The mind is not your master, it is your instrument. It will reflect whatever you continually project. You cannot argue with the mind, you must decree to it. You cannot plead with it, you must command it. Shock it, startle it, overwhelm it with the boldness of your declarations until it bows to the authority of spirit. The moment it bows, the battle is over, and manifestation begins to rush forth. Speak now with fire in your voice, mind. I no longer accept your old report. I declare the higher law as my reality. I decree wealth, I decree health, I decree peace, and I command you to align. The trick is holy. It is the wisdom of bypassing appearances and compelling the mind to serve its rightful master, the spirit. When the mind obeys, the subconscious obeys, and the world reshapes itself to match the decree. Therefore, speak with prophetic power, repeat with tireless faith, act as though it were already done, and watch as the mind surrenders and miracles break forth like a flood. Vibration of immediate supply. The law of spirit moves at the speed of thought, and thought clothed in the word becomes vibration, and vibration summons form. The supply you seek is not far off, delayed, or withheld. It is waiting in the unseen, vibrating at the frequency of your decree. The moment your word aligns faith, the vibration of your being shifts, and the universe rushes to fill the new tone you have struck. Delay is the echo of divided speech. Supply is the response to the unwavering vibration of certainty. Say aloud now with commanding voice, and I vibrate with the law of immediate supply. I call it forth, I receive it now. The universe is not slow, it is precise. It does not weigh your worthiness or bargain with your effort. It answers the note you strike in the unseen. If your tone is fear, it sends evidence of fear. If your tone is lack, it gathers lack. But when your vibration resounds with abundance, it draws forth the channels, the ideas, the opportunities, and the people who are the visible answer to your decree. Your word is the tuning fork of the spirit, and when you strike it with faith, every circumstance begins to vibrate in harmony with your command. Too long have you spoken as if good must come later. A D of delay. Say with the voice of command, I am in tune with the rhythm of divine supply. I speak, I decree, I receive without resistance, without delay. Feel the vibration of these words fill the chamber of your heart. See the ripple moving outward into every corner of your affairs. Imagine the invisible lines of force converging, resources appearing, doors opening, channels forming. This is not imagination only, it is the law responding to the tone you have set. The moment your vibration is undivided, the moment your word ceases to contradict itself, the supply rushes forth. No barrier can stand, no lack can persist, no delay can hold, for the vibration of immediate supply is the sound of the law fulfilled. Speak again with holy boldness, and I am aligned with the vibration of immediate supply. I call forth my abundance without resistance. I command the substance of the unseen to appear in perfect order and perfect time, now. Keep the tone alive in your speech, in your thoughts, in the atmosphere of your soul. The universe is but a vast instrument, and it waits for the note you strike. Strike it with authority, strike it with faith, strike it with unwavering certainty, and the song of your abundance shall be heard in the outer world. Divine identity. As the channel you cannot draw from an infinite source while believing yourself a limited creature. You cannot command the law while imagining you are separate from the power that made the law. The river of supply does not flow through the vessel of fear or self-condemnation, it flows through the vessel that knows it is one with the infinite. You are not a beggar at the gates of heaven, you are the heir of the kingdom. You are not a seeker of crumbs. You are the channel through which the abundance of God pours into form. Say aloud now with the authority of revelation. Sent I am the channel of divine supply. I am the open way for infinite wealth, infinite health, infinite peace to flow through me and appear before me. The law is perfect, but it needs a willing instrument. The infinite has no lack, no delay, no obstruction, but it moves into the world through the consciousness that knows itself as divine. As long as you identify as powerless, you close the channel. As long as you speak as one separate from the source, you cut off the very stream you desire. But the moment you awaken to your true identity as a spiritual being, a son or daughter of the Most High, the channel opens wide, and the supply flows as naturally as water runs downhill. Your outer world is the shadow of your inner knowing. When you know who you are, the outer must conform. Say it again with fire in your voice. I am not separate from my good. I am not distant from my supply. I am one with the infinite life, and that life flows through me as every provision I require. The sense of separation is the only poverty. The awareness of union is the key to abundance. The vine does not struggle to receive the sap. It receives because it is part of the vine. So it is with you. When you know you are one with the source, you cease striving and begin decreeing. You cease begging and begin commanding. You cease waiting and begin receiving. The divine identity is not a distant dream, it is the truth of your being. The mind protests, the senses argue, the world of appearances denies, but the word declares, "For you are made in the image of God, endowed with authority to speak the law into being." The more you affirm this identity, the more you dissolve the false mask of limitation. As the false self fades, the true self, the channel of infinite good, stands revealed, and through that channel, the river of supply flows without hindrance. Speak with prophetic boldness. I am the channel of divine intelligence. Therefore, I have wisdom for every decision. I am the channel of divine strength. Therefore, I have vitality for every task. I am the channel of divine abundance. Therefore, every need is met before I ask. These are not mere words, they are the recognition of spiritual law. The infinite cannot withhold from its own expression. The branch need not plead with the tree to receive life, it need only remain connected and allow the flow. Many live as though the infinite were reluctant, as though heaven measured its gifts in drops and crumbs, as though worthiness were a price to be earned. This is the great deception. The source is ceaseless in its giving, but it gives through the recognition of divine identity. You must know who you are, to receive what is already yours. You must say, not with timid hope, but with commanding certainty, and I am the open channel of the infinite. I am the inlet and the outlet of divine supply. I live, move, and breathe as one with the source of all good. When you affirm this, the vibration of your being changes, it rises to the level of truth. The outer conditions, which once mirrored your sense of separation, begin to dissolve and give way to the evidence of your union. The closed doors swing open, the withheld opportunities return, the blocked channels clear, not because you have earned it, but because you have aligned with your nature. The divine law moves through you as easily as light moves through the open window. Speak again with unshaken voice, and I am the living channel of the divine law. I am the avenue through which the invisible becomes visible, through which the formless becomes form, through which abundance flows into my life and into the lives of others. I do not struggle to receive, I recognize my union, and I allow the flow. Every time you remember who you truly are, the channel widens. Every time you speak from that place of union, the flow increases. Every time you decree from divine identity, you draw forth the immediate supply that belongs to you by right. The river has never stopped flowing. It was only your false sense of self that dammed the stream. Therefore, awaken now to your true identity. Cast off the garments of fear and lack. Ref. Use to speak as one in exile from your own inheritance. Lift your voice and declare, I am one with the source of all that is good. I am the chosen channel of divine supply. Through me the abundance of heaven floods the earth. The moment you claim this truth, the moment you embody it in word and in thought, the law begins to work without obstruction. You do not need to force the river, you need only to remember that you are its living channel, the 24-hour principle. The law of the Spirit is swift, for it is unbound by the slow march of the clock. It does not require years to shift a mountain, it requires only the word spoken in unwavering faith. The moment the word is uttered with conviction, the law begins to rearrange all that is needed to fulfill the decree. Time is not the master of the word governs time. This is the mystery of the 24-hour principle, that the first fruits of your decree, the visible sign of its power, shall appear without delay when you speak as one who knows the law cannot be broken. Say aloud now with authority, I decree the law acts swiftly. I decree the evidence of my word appears within this day. I command the first sign of my miracle to be made visible now. Delay is the child of doubt. It is born when the tongue speaks in one moment and contradicts itself in the next. The Spirit moves instantly, but the divided word builds walls that resist its flow. The 24-hour principle is not a promise that the entire harvest will ripen in a single day, but that the sign of the harvest, the breaking of the ground, the first movement in the unseen, will be made manifest within the span of a day when the word is uttered in absolute authority. It is the quickened response of law to undivided decree. The seed planted in the soil of spirit germinates at once. The sprout may break the surface within hours, for the life within it has been commanded to rise. Say with the voice of command, Annie, do not wait in anxious wondering. I wait in confident expectation. I release the word, and the word runs swiftly to fulfill its mission. I see the first sign within 24 hours, for the law moves now. This is not arrogance but alignment. It is not human will forcing heaven, it is divine order expressing itself through your faith. The moment you cease to beg and begin to decree, the law hastens to obey. The universe loves the undivided command of faith. Understand this. The delay you have experienced has been of your own making, for the law responds to the vibration you send. A wavering tone calls forth a wavering result. But when you strike the note of absolute certainty, heaven and earth move as one. The angels of provision hasten. the channels of supply open, the hearts of others are stirred, and the visible world rearranges itself to comply with the word you have spoken. This is the power of the 24-hour principle. Not that you rush the divine, but that you align so purely with divine law that nothing in you opposes the flow. Declare now Ith holy boldness, and to word I speak is law fulfilled. The law acts now, the unseen obeys now, the sign of my decree appears in this day, for I have spoken in faith. Refuse to speak against it, refuse to give voice to doubt or delay. Guard your tongue as you would guard a royal seal, for every contradictory word is a thief that would steal the speed of your manifestation. Remain steadfast in your decree, for the moment you speak as one who knows, the unseen rushes forward. The spirit is not bound by time, but meets you at the point of your faith. If you believe the sign will take years, years will pass. If you decree the sign will appear within the day, the law hastens to show that faith was justified. The 24-hour principle is the discipline of the tongue, the mastery of vibration, the refusal to contradict the word once it has been released. It is the certainty that what is commanded in alignment with divine law cannot linger in the void but must press into form. Lift your voice again with power, Sadai. Decree. The first sign of my answered prayer appears in this day. I decree the movement of heaven begins now. I decree the law of swift return is active and visible in my life within 24 hours. Hold this decree as you would hold a blazing torch in the night. Do not let the winds of doubt snuff it out. Do not allow idle talk to scatter its light. The sign will appear, sometimes as a shift in circumstance, sometimes as a message, sometimes as a door opening or an obstacle removed. But it will appear, for the law is faithful. The 24-hour principle is not the limit of the law's power but the evidence of its swiftness. It proves to the mind that spirit does not delay. It breaks the spell of long waiting and trains the soul to expect the quickened response of heaven. It is the shaking of the old belief that supply is slow and far off. It is the declaration that the unseen is ready, that heaven is not withholding, that the river of goods surges forward the instant the decree is spoken in unwavering faith. Say it once more with prophetic force, and the sign of my decree shall not tarry. I command the evidence of my faith to appear within this day. The law is swift, the law is sure, the law moves now. And as you speak it, believe it, hold it, and refuse to contradict it, you will see that the law is indeed quick to respond, and the first fruits of your decree will rise to meet you within the span of a day. The tongue is the rudder of your destiny, the small yet mighty instrument that steers the entire course of your life. It builds and it destroys. It opens the gates of abundance and it shuts them. It blesses and it curses. The universe is ever listening for the vibration of your word, and it hastens to obey what it hears. Therefore, you must guard your tongue as a watchman guards a treasure, for every idle word is a seed sown into the soil of the unseen, and every seed must bear fruit after its kind. Say aloud with authority, I set a watch over my lips. I speak only what I desire to see. I decree my words are law, and they shall not return void. You cannot speak of lack and expect abundance to flow. You cannot declare fear and expect faith to blossom. You cannot utter defeat and hope to reap victory. The law does not choose between words, it simply fulfills them. The tongue that complains invokes delay. The tongue that grumbles builds walls against its own good. The tongue that contradicts its decree uproots the seed it has just planted. Therefore, I say to you, guard your tongue as the gatekeeper of your life's harvest. Let no word escape that does not serve the higher law. Say with prophetic force, I bridle my tongue. I refuse to speak against my own good. I silence the language of doubt and lift my voice only to decree the law of abundance, the law of success, the law of immediate supply. For as surely as the river follows the channel carved for it, so will the power of spirit follow the channel of your words. If the channel is scattered by idle talk, the river will scatter. If the channel is steadfast, the river will flow strong and sure. The tongue is the sword of the spirit. When you wield it with precision, It cuts away every lie of limitation and pierces the veil of delay. But when you wield it carelessly, it wounds your own harvest and breaks the flow of supply. You must learn to speak as a ruler, not as a wanderer, to utter decrees, not complaints, to release blessings, not curses. For the tongue speaks forth vibration, and vibration draws unto you the form it names. Guard your tongue in moments of pressure, for it is then that the careless word seeks to escape. Guard your tongue in times of waiting, for impatience is the thief of manifestation. Guard your tongue when appearances tempt you to speak lack, for the appearance is but a shadow and your word is the light that can dissolve it. Declare with holy fire, "I will not speak against my own decree. I will not give the enemy of doubt a voice through my lips. I will keep the high tone of my word until the law has fulfilled it." Understand this truth. It is not enough to decree a thing once, you must sustain the vibration of that decree. And the tongue is the vessel that sustains it. Each time you repeat your command with faith, you fortify the unseen structure that is building your good. Each time you speak in contradiction, you weaken the very structure you are trying to raise. The law is precise. It gives back the vibration you consistently release. Say again with commanding certainty, "And my tongue is consecrated to the law of life. I speak only increase. I speak only health. I speak only harmony and success." May voice delay, you will proclaim immediacy. And as you keep your tongue aligned with your decree, the law will move unhindered, and the fruits of your words will appear in due season, often sooner than you dared believe. Let this be your continual declaration, "And I am master of my tongue. My words align with divine law, my speech is the channel of my good. I guard my lips as holy instruments of creation. I will not speak what I do not wish to live, and as you speak thus, you shall see your world shaped not by chance, not by fate, but by the faithful law that returns to you the harvest of every word."